welcome to our weekly Christ in Our Neighborhood conversation where Joyce and I talk about Sunday's Gospel with Bishop John. Everything you need to do this with family and friends is on the Diocese of Phoenix website in the Christ in Our Neighborhood section. Welcome back, Bishop.
Always great to see the two of you.
It's great to be here. And this week we're reading from the Gospel of Luke, again, chapter 5, verses 1 to 11. So, Bishop, would you like to start us off?
Yes. The word vocation means calling. More often than not, there are at least three stages to a spiritual or religious calling. The first stage involves a spiritual conversation or conversion or change in one's spiritual practice. This stage usually follows a period of silence or some days of rest. For example, a high school, college, or adult retreat in the mountains, a visit to a monastery, or an added daily routine of frequent visits to the Blessed Sacrament.
All right, and the first stage can be compared to Jesus' command for Peter to put out into the deep. Going deeper in our daily lives, tap into our soul, and find richer meaning and purpose for our existence is necessary and usually the first step toward discovering our calling.
After going deeper, we are confronted with the desire to change our past pattern of behavior, our second stage. In Peter's case, he admits his sinfulness and falls at Jesus' feet. The final stage is similar to the scene where Jesus says to the contrite Peter, "Do not be afraid. From now on, you will be catching men." This final stage sets the apostles up to follow Jesus.
All right, so Bishop, what is our question for this week?
Well, have you ever been through any of these stages in your own life? Obviously, I have, but that's it. We just keep repeating ourselves, right? I mean, if that's the call to conversion, and it's really a call toward a deeper vocation with the Lord. You can't just say you're at one stage where you spent a little time at a retreat. Sometimes you don't have those times to be on retreat, but other times Jesus is still saying, go, put out into the deep. And so you have to catch those moments when the Lord is trying to catch you and just get you out there and trust Him, trust the Lord. And sometimes that happens in the busyness of our life, not when we really do have those moments to be on retreat. So I've been through all of these stages. Yes.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, and, as a layperson, I would say in college, I was active at the Arizona State University All Saints Catholic Newman Center, and I went on a couple of retreats my sophomore year and my junior year that just had a big impact on my life and really had me look more closely at my faith. You can grow up in the church, but making it your own, that was something that happened at the Newman Center. And I considered becoming a religious sister, actually. I felt, maybe I'll be a missionary. But I fell in love with a musician, a Catholic musician at the Newman Center. We've been married almost 40 years, and it was just apparent God was calling me to the sacrament of matrimony. But I would say that second stage is something that happens and should happen more than once. And I remember the day, it was December 19th, 2011. So it wasn't that long ago. And I remember thinking, I need to change course here. And it was a moment to hang. I think of that every year. You realize that there are areas in your life that you maybe haven't fully surrendered or fully trusted God. And when you do that, you're filled with a sense of peace. And I discovered that God had more for me to do in His kingdom. And so, a wider calling and new ways to serve Him. So I think that we can go through those different stages. We go back and forth. If we live a long life, which God has blessed me with, I think that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Well, that's definitely true in my life. Of course, I've been through all of them, but I continue to go through them. And so at this stage in my life, I'm in a place of transition as I'm moving away from growing disciples in my own home. I've been discerning where He's calling me now. And that's led me to more prayer and discernment and regular confession and spending time with Him and trying to see what He's doing in my life and being attentive to the people He's putting in my life, to the situations He's placing in front of me. And now I'm seeing Him work in that and seeing how He might be calling me in this next stage of my life.
And he's always calling.
Always calling.
Always calling.
That's
Yeah.
so true. We just got to be tuned in.
Right.
Well, Bishop, what is our task for this week?
When was the last time you were on a retreat? Take time this week to circle a weekend or a day or even a half of a day in your calendar to make a retreat and spend some time with the Lord. Slow down and let God catch up. God wants to hear from you. He may even have something to say to you. I really like that.
I love it. Thank you, Bishop.
My
That was
pleasure.
wonderful.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. For more information on Christ in Our Neighborhood and resources to start your own group, visit the Christ in Our Neighborhood section at the Diocese of Phoenix website.